Hello everyone, I'm back. I don't know why I said it like I was about to start another recording or something. But yeah, hello. We're back. So I've got myself a monster now and well, hydrated. So yeah. So let's get into this of who will conclude what each staff members association for the murder is.
Magnifique.
So these two could easily work together. I can't imagine the pain they have felt losing Luke. His memory will only live on in their hearts. They both grieve for Luke, so that is pretty much a motive and a half.
I cannot see the logic.
Maybe Archibald did this?
I must take a different...
Oh wait. Helped.
Come,
No.
my little girl.
Come, my great house. Work. Oh, I got 2 links, but only 3 things are flashing. So does one of them connect 2 together?
The pieces of the puzzle are finally coming together.
Elizabeth looked pale and the other members of staff were busy with their duties. She must have found a body, but did she play a part in the murder?
I must act on...
So it's going to be one of these.
I should not be surprised by my own skills of deduction.
I'm confident Inch isn't part of the cover-up. That has clearly been a focus for the other staff. Which explains why there's she feels disconnected, because she had nothing to do with it. So Ing is innocent.
Things are beginning to become clearer.
Although her duties are primarily focused in the kitchen and pantry, I don't recall seeing her. Wahina wasn't seen after Elizabeth found the corpse.
Another success.
And a staff member impersonated the Major. Impersonating the Major was Wahina's role in the plan. Oh, so she was her. I was completely way off. I'm not sure of yet. Why it was necessary, I'm not sure why. Why did she feel the need to cover for Elizabeth?
This will not get me... I must take a different...
And staged a phone call for that?
What a revelation!
Yeah, okay. For the... Wasn't seen after Elizabeth found the corpse. Archibald's acting skills came into play to cover for a member of staff, but who? Elizabeth.
Things are beginning to become clearer.
The staged phone call was Archibald's assignment. He went to great lengths to protect Elizabeth, but why did he feel the need to cover for Elizabeth? While Youngins is guilty of her own crimes associated with the blackmail, it is Sterling and Rihanna that have been an integral part in covering up and obscuring the truth of how the Major was killed. But why? I now have all the pieces of the puzzle. I must return to my room and place them together until the result reveals itself. Elizabeth, you didn't do it, did you? So far, she's looking very sus. Very, very sus. It's time for my Lord Greysus to go to work. We've just been doing that for like the last... I don't know how long. OBS, what do you think? OBS, you're looking good. Excellent day. You heard the man, we gotta get busy. Investigate the murder. I think we're gonna wrap up who did it. Okay. No, get back on that. Get your butt back on that, thank you. Okay, Did the Major threaten Elizabeth and Elizabeth attacked in self-defense? And that's why they were making a big scene about it of covering up? So the Major was going to do some cobalt and while talking to Elizabeth pretty much self-defense. I don't even know what to flipping pick here. I seriously can't even have a guess of what would be the thing to pick here in this link. Maybe Archibald and Rehenna covering for Elizabeth?
Another success.
Okay.
I never doubted myself.
Okay, thank goodness. How could I have allowed this to slip from my grasp? Elizabeth is the murderer. Elizabeth? Why? Is that why she came to see us? I cannot believe I did not see it. Blinded by my own trust. When I look back now, the clues were there, staring me in the face. I spent my time chasing connections between the guests, their motives, and agendas were more than enough to raise suspicion, but while distracted by them, I failed to notice the one absent member of the household. I know, right? You should have fucking investigated everyone at the start. What I still cannot grasp is why. I promised myself that after that fateful day in the capital, I would not let my judgment steer me adrift. But once again, it is I left looking the fool. I can probably guess why, because she probably argued with him regarding Luke. Because the Major is the reason Luke's dead, let's be honest. Now, I'm not saying she killed him like cold blood or anything. Because the fact that the stab wound on him is from a defensive strike. I imagine she killed him in self-defense. Is what I'm saying. Is what I'm getting at. There is nothing more than can be done tonight. I must at least try to rest my head in preparation for confronting Elizabeth in the morning. And we're on to the next chapter. The truth. What in the world? Has an elephant escaped and made its way to the second floor? It sounds as though it's coming directly from above me, but that is the storage room. Okay. You what? What is going on? What is going on indeed? I'm guessing it's early morning there? Okay, that doesn't look sus at all. Which door was that? Of course I choose the feckin' wrong way to go. To the storeroom we go. We can see the light peeking out. Why would Stellan be in here clowning around in the dead of night? Aha! This is where the secret room is. Archibald is up in the middle of the... It's still the middle of the night. Did we get any sleep? I must find out the extent of his behaviour. I have the feeling that's where the secret floor room is because the carpet's been moved. Then again, we're literally right under this room. Because that's why we got woken up.
Monsieur Starling. Oh, Detective. I was just... Please, I eagerly await to hear what reason you give for being in the storage room at this hour.
He's like, oh yes, come on, give me a reason of why you're here. Actually, I changed my mind on where the secret room is. It's in here. It's still in here, but it's behind this cupboard thing, Bob. You can see the scratch marks on the floor there.
A butler's job is never...
I am no fool, monsieur. You have spun enough stories this weekend.
Honestly, Detective, you don't trust anyone.
That's because you're all freaking liars. You're so scum.
And with good reason.
My patience has all but run out. What are you doing in here?
I've been thinking about my time with the family.
Uh-huh.
I often think on fond memories, but it does not take me to a storage room in the middle of the night.
I know, you could still be in your own room and flipping be sitting on a chair or go for a little walk, but not flipping going a walk at the top floor, flipping banging around.
There are many memories held within these walls. I just wanted to see them again.
Okay, that's a good excuse. Sterling sounds as though he has plans on leaving the house. Sounds like you were moving furniture, though.
I didn't realize the noise I was making.
Uh-huh.
Obviously. Were you preoccupied looking for another of the Major's medals?
Oh, wow, Poirot, wow.
Of course not. I already explained.
No, monsieur. You attempted to dupe me again into believing one of your stories.
Hey, damn, Poirot means business. Don't you mess with this man. Seriously, don't mess with Poirot. You regret it.
Please, detective. I know you know how it ended up in my possession. I was just trying to get some extra money together to send home. I can't lose this job. If Lady Van den Bosch found out...
Theft of a medal would be the very least of your problems.
Indeed. You have done nothing but deceive and abuse your position in the house.
Deceive? I'm sorry that I lied to you about the medal.
Even when confronted, Sterling still remains steadfast and refused to acknowledge what he has done. I can understand with Hannah covering for Elizabeth, but why is Archibald? He seems like he doesn't give me like the father type. He seems quite strict. And earlier today or late night yesterday, I forget when, I did have I was thinking in general maybe he could be related to Florette, but he's not actually young, he's actually old, so... Because I was thinking brother, but it doesn't match at all because he's way older. Well, Florette was like, still like in her teenage years? Like late teenage years? What she'll be in her early 20s? I don't know. I get confused easily with age. I don't know how he plays into it though, like why he's so megally involved.
Would you care to explain the fake telephone call? It was purely for my benefit, no?
Why would I fake a telephone call?
The same reason that Mademoiselle Rihanna dressed in the Major's jacket in the snow, to allow not only the guests but me to believe the Major was still alive.
I didn't kill him, detective.
I never said you did.
I know, monsieur. But I also know that you helped the one that did to cover their tracks.
It wasn't like that. We were just trying to help. She had no part in it.
What do you mean? You mean in covering it up? You wished your freedom to help her.
You never let on. How long have you known it was her?
Monsieur, I am Detective Hercule Poirot. I only show my hand when I deem it necessary.
Indeed.
You will be taking her away then.
She will stand trial for what she has done.
But you don't know the full story. She is just a servant in this house. If she is arrested, that will be the end for her.
Poor Elizabeth. I definitely think it was in self-defense.
If Mademoiselle was only protecting herself, as you both have claimed, she will surely be found innocent.
Wait, that's not how it works, is it? Did he want like that back then? If you kill someone in self-defense, you are seen innocent. I'm pretty sure that doesn't work like that today. Does it? I'm pretty sure people who kill in self-defense, so obviously aka, whether it's an accident way they killed them when they tried to protect themselves, or if they just used that extra force to kill them to save themselves, aka if a serial killer came barging in trying to kill you, then surely you would still get locked up, right? Or do you not? I don't actually know the law that well in terms of that. But I guess. Huh, okay. That's interesting. You have still not explained what you were doing in here.
The Major's military storage box.
The one that stored his medals.
Amongst other things, yes.
And those other things are?
I had to protect her. If you found it when searching the study, you would have carted her off then and there.
Damning evidence, no doubt, of Elizabeth being the one that did it.
Whatever it is you have hidden, it will not remain that way for much longer.
Sterling is obviously hiding something. I should perhaps conduct my own search for it instead of relying on his cryptic messages.
I need a moment.
Give me a moment. Okay, is it nothing to do with that? That looks very sketchy as feckin' hell. Yeah, I'm calling that Elizabeth did it in self-defense. That's what it's leading up to. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. Right, we've got to detach carving it. St. Carving here.
Huh.
What? One of the many St. Carvings from around the house. Abandoned in a box. Why is this St. Carving in here? Okay. Archibald, can you tell me where it is? Because I ain't got a fecking clue. Pixel hunt time. Where the feck is it? Or maybe do this. Aha! I've got a link. Oh, okay. So that.
Magnifique.
There we go. The detached carving may relate to a door in this room. This would explain Archibald's presence. Indeed, a secret room. Secret room accessible within the storage room, and Archibald hid the items.
I should not be surprised by my own skills of deduction.
Archibald must have hidden items in the secret room. I presume this exists within here somewhere. There we go. Okay.
Huh.
Yeah, I think that seemed a bit too easy. Now we can look beyond here. Aha! Caught it! Hidden room. It seems there are more secrets in this house to discover. Aha! The Major's military secret service box. It contains letters and keepsakes. So Archibald obviously knew about this place. And the knife. That's the weapon? The last will and testament of the late Viscount. It seems he truly loved Angeline. I declare that I, Viscount Edwin van den Bosch, am of sound mind. The last will expresses my wishes without undue influence or distress. Article 1. In the event of my death, I hereby appoint my wife Cassandra as the executor of the Van den Bosch estate, and I leave the remaining wealth held in the Van den Bosch name to my only daughter, Angeline van den Bosch. So, Bitchface gets the house, and Angeline gets the fortune. Any outstanding debts, expenses of my last owner's funeral expenses and administration costs are to be paid from the Van den Bosch account at the National Bank of Belgium. To my daughter Angeline, you are the apple of my eye and the brightest star in the sky. Never allow your light to fade for even a moment. So Edwin didn't know about the affair at all. Or that Angeline's not even his child. That is sad. To my wife Cassandra, thank you for the many joyous years. We have laughed, we have loved, and we have brought the most precious of gifts into this world together. I trust that you will protect her and prepare her for a future full of opportunity and hope. Viscount Edwin van den Bosch. Monsieur Victor Rodriguez. Oh yeah, that's the lawyer, right. How the fuck did Cassandra get away with explaining that Angeline is Edwin's? Edwin's barely been around. Dun dun dun. The knife? Prodigious looking knife, likely belonging to the Major. Is it the murder weapon? Because I don't think we found that yet. Oh, hello, expensive lighter.
Oh.
An expensive looking lighter. It looks to have, unfortunately, been through war. Come, my Lord Graceless, I believe you already know something about this mystery. Rightio, let's get it on with. Aha, it's got blitterings on it, so it is.
The pieces of the puzzle are finally coming together.
So the lighter's got a symbol on it, and the knife's got a symbol on it, but the one on the lighter is faded out, so we linked those two up, and the lighter must belong to the Major. The army symbol all but confirms this, but don't I already have this in my possession?
What a revelation!
Oh? The lighter I found in the military box is not the... It's certainly the Major's, meaning the other one is not. Oh? Oh, so it's a fake... A fake one. Oh.
Is there something?
Oh wait, the Major killed prisoners of war? Fucking hell, I don't remember that bit. Okay.
Some would say a lucky guess. I would say a moment of genius.
Indeed. The murder weapon has been found. Elizabeth must have used this in the study. It's gotta be self-defense. For one, she used his weapon. But wait, I thought he got killed when his back was turned. Damn, even the door looks secret. Damn. Right, so yeah, we're talking about this self-defense stuff, but I thought the Major died without a struggle. No, I'm thinking about it. Something doesn't add up. I'm pretty sure that's what we were told at the start, wasn't it? Hold on, hold on. Okay, I don't know. It doesn't actually properly say of how he died. Like, in regards to that.
There is no use lying anymore.
Ah, good. You're going to tell me the truth at long last? Good on you. You should do it more often, Archibald. You feel better. When I inspected the garden yesterday, I found a lighter I assumed belonged to the Major.
He always had his regiment lighter that he received in the war on his person.
And yet, it was not his regiment emblem that was engraved on it.
Oh, was it Sax?
My father's.
Oh,
It must have
of
fallen
course.
out of my pocket. You still have it, Detective.
Monsieur, you have stashed evidence, manipulated a crime scene, obscured my investigation, and yet it is a lighter that you worry about most?
Ouch. Archibald's getting it bad.
If it is my path to end up behind bars for what I have done, so be it. It is Elizabeth that you cannot allow to be locked up without the truth being told. I have heard how you fought for that young maid before. Florette, is it? I only ask that you do the same for Elizabeth.
Well, I mean, the difference here is Florette was completely innocent, and the flipping person that flipping blamed her, like flipping made her number one suspect, flipping is her alibi of flipping witnessing her flipping 24/7 of since the instant, and it wasn't anywhere to do with her. Florette was completely innocent. They differ greatly in severity. I can envision the similarities in how Elizabeth would be treated by those in position of authority or social standing, even before she is trialed. It is my oath as an officer of the law to uphold justice and fairness. She must be given the chance to prove her innocence before the court, as any of us suspect. Indeed. The murder weapon?
You found it.
Well, yeah. You
Even
left it
the
out.
secret area that has been created here is not concealed enough to stop Detective Hercule Poirot.
I mean, the floor cubes is a fucking dead away when you look at it from here.
I couldn't just leave it at the scene for you to find.
Why not?
The Major was killed by his own knife. The knife that protected his life during the war would eventually be the one that ended it.
Hey Umbar, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good, buddy.
It was in his holster when he attacked her. He had hold of her arm. What else was she meant to use to get him off of her?
Self-defense. Aha, I was right. I cannot imagine the Major would have given this knife up easily. She must have been in close proximity to reach it. Perhaps he did attack her, she claims. Well, we haven't actually spoke to Elizabeth to find out what she claims.
She didn't plan any of it, Detective. She was only defending herself.
That is what Mademoiselle told you?
She did, and I believe her. You think you knew the Major, but you had no idea. He was a monster and had more secrets than all of us combined.
Well, we do know he's an asshole.
That may be true, but that does not excuse what she has done.
We could have ended up with her being the victim here.
Put yourself in her shoes for a minute. If a man like that had attacked me the way he did Lizzie, I would have done a lot worse to him.
Elizabeth has told her Sterling a version of defense that suggests she was attacked by the Major. I struggled to believe that she would make such a story up, but then I also did not believe she could do such a thing as commit murder. I think she more just used whatever she could in self-defense, and it just happened to be something sharp, like the knife.
I need a moment.
Yeah, give us a moment, Archibald. We have a chain link to do. Hello. Open window, Archibald was in the garden.
Things are beginning to become clearer.
If the only thing I found was Archibald's letter, he must have collected something else. What else did Archibald collect from the garden? The knife?
I should not be surprised by my own skills of deduction.
Archibald dropped the murder weapon from the window, collected it, then hid it in the secret room. Ah, okay.
There is no use lying anymore.
If it was the chef, she would have stabbed him with a spit. Sadly, it wasn't the chef. It was you that I saw in the garden at night.
When you asked me yesterday about seeing someone out there, I thought the game was up.
That does not explain what you were doing out there.
When Lizzie took me to the study, the knife was still in the Major's chest, and I knew I had to get rid of it. I dropped it out of the window, knowing no one would be going outside. It was fine for the time being, but I couldn't risk it being found when the snow melted.
So you collected it under the cover of darkness and stowed it away in here where you thought no one would find it.
After your questioning in the pantry, I knew you were onto something, and I couldn't leave it here.
And where did you plan on moving it to?
Honestly, I don't know.
He just panicked. See, if he didn't make that noise, we wouldn't have done that. And we were still wouldn't know where the murder weapon was. Collecting the item and hiding it to save Elizabeth. He must truly want to protect her from the law. He's been very protective of her. Yeah, I don't know exactly 100% why. I don't think he's ever been seen as a father figure.
There is no use.
Hey sir, welcome to the stream. One last question, good sir. Why?
Why what? Why I would risk everything to help Lizzie?
Exactement.
How are you both of you? Wow, I fucking said that, Hobie Wong. How are you, son? How are you, Umbar?
Because she.
Oh, you're very drunk.
If you were in that position, you would do the same.
Had a bit too much to drink. Have you been out all day? I know you were streaming first thing this morning, which I sadly missed.
I can assure you, monsieur, that I would not.
Then perhaps that says something about you, Detective. I would do anything for her. For any of my staff.
I thought he was quite strict regarding staff stuff, but he's actually quite a nice guy.
Even if
thinking
it
about
means
it.
crossing the boundaries of the law.
To protect the ones you think should be protected? Probably.
Without question.
The lengths that Sterling would go to protect someone he considers family is admirable. But when those limbs break the very laws that are in place to protect the innocent, they cannot be ignored. I ask that once your morning duties for the ladies of the house are complete, Madame Wehanna and yourself wait in the staff quarters.
Aye, Detective. But please, you have to help Lizzie. It was all an accident. She doesn't deserve to spend the rest of her days behind bars because of that man.
Oh, were you doing bad in Tomb Raider? I missed the stream. I was still asleep at that time. I think I woke up not long, like just at the end. So I believe it. I know Ainsley was watching.
If she is put behind bars, it is because that is what the courts have decided upon.
Detective, you can't be so cruel.
It is not cruelty, monsieur. It is the law.
And yeah, it's always nice to have a good excuse. After all these further revelations, my mind is as busy as Monsieur Gullet's chocolate shop. Who? Have all the pieces of the puzzle to deduce why Elizabeth killed the Major. Now I must allow my little grey cells to put them together. Well, I believe we know the answer. It was self-defense. After finding those documents in the hidden room, things are starting to fall into place as to why Elizabeth may have killed him. And it just happens that she does have a motive at the same time.
I cannot see the logic in... Order and method.
That doesn't work, me.
I must take a different approach.
So security attack first and Ernesto paid it then.
I cannot see
No,
the
what?
logic.
Am I wholly wrong? Apparently so. It's way up here I've got to be looking at. But no! I pressed the wrong buttons. Oh hey, it's still flashing on what goes to what. So the Major was in a bad financial state because he's not receiving a pension.
Another success. I never doubted myself.
The Major's financial struggles must have left him in need of a source of income. Who could the Major have turned to in his time of need? And the Major killed prisoners of war.
Some would say a lucky
And
guess.
paid the blackmailers?
I would say a moment of genius.
So that's why he was flipping being blackmailed. Because Marge found out about the prisoners of war that I somehow completely forgot about. This information would have destroyed his reputation if unveiled. A strong motive for blackmail. Indeed. I guess he didn't care if Angeline got revealed to be his daughter. Okay, so we know Ernesto paid the Major well.
Magnifique.
The Major needed a job to go ahead. It was the only way to guarantee money in his pocket. What could he do to ensure the job would be complete?
What a revelation.
So, to make sure the job was get done, he fucking attacked the fucking protesters? To secure his payment, the Major must have ordered the attack at the strikes. What were the consequences of the Major ordering the first attack? Well, Luke died, that's what happened.
The pieces of the puzzle are finally coming together.
Who I don't think we ever met. The Major's actions unfortunately led to the death of Luke, and all agreed. Who would have been most affected by this? Well, there are two strong people for that, actually. Gehenna and Elizabeth.
Some would say a lucky guess. I would say a moment of genius.
So we're currently making a motive for why she did it, but I don't think the motive actually comes into play, because it was self-defense. Elizabeth has probably lost more than anyone else involved. She may have sought her revenge. Oh, there's also the motive of what happened with Florette. There's in the prologue, because Elizabeth was good friends with her. She doesn't seem like the revengeful type, but all signs are pointing to her seeking revenge for her beloved Luke. I know for a fact that ain't the truth. That is not the truth. If I'm to confront Elizabeth, I must be at my best, and my little Grace is at that most of it is time to at least try and rest. You've been up all night, man. Oh, sunshine. I have no time to run on my lack of sleep. I must confront Elizabeth and hopefully finally know the truth of what took place.
Detective Poirot, I'm glad you're awake.
Bonjour, mademoiselle. It has certainly not been a night of peaceful sleep. There is something that we must discuss.
Please, Detective, I'm not sure I can take any more surprises like last night.
I'm afraid this may be the most upsetting of them all.
You have found Felix's killer, haven't you?
I have. And the guilty party will certainly come as a shock.
I take no great pleasure in telling you this.
Detective, please.
It was Mademoiselle Elizabeth that was behind the Major's death.
You must be mistaken. Elizabeth could not do such a thing.
I assure you I am not. It is something I spent much of last night deliberating. When you spoke of the telephone lines being out of order, it made me question the conversation I thought I had heard Monsieur Sterling make with the Major before connecting the call to him.
But it hasn't been working all weekend.
Exactement, mademoiselle. That is when I knew I had once again been lied to.
On my way to speaking with Sterling and Gehenna, I met Elizabeth. So we're now gonna talk to Angeline about it all.
She was meant to be resting in the staff quarters. She has not been well.
For obvious reason.
I am afraid that was yet another lie, orchestrated to keep her from incriminating herself.
Actually, I can imagine considering she killed him, that would be a big shock in her system, and she would definitely feel unwell from also seeing a dead body and all that stuff.
Why would you think that, Detective?
I only managed a few words with her before we were quite abruptly interrupted by Monsieur Sterling.
I must admit, he has a habit of speaking over the other staff.
It was much more than merely disturbing our conversation. It was done with the intention to prevent Mademoiselle saying something that she should not.
So, Elizabeth killed Felix, and then Archibald helped her cover it up?
In its simplest form, oui. I have heard it directly from the horse's mouth.
You have spoken with Elizabeth already? Did she admit to it?
No, you spoke to Archibald.
Not Elizabeth, but Monsieur Sterling.
Were you not woken last night by the tremendous amount of noise coming from the storage room?
I wasn't. What were you doing in there, Detective?
It was Monsieur Sterling that I found in there. I was taken by some surprise to hear anyone awake at that hour.
What on earth was he doing?
He claimed he was merely reminiscing of his time with the family.
You don't believe him?
It did not take long for me to uncover the truth of why he was there, and the location of the Major's murder weapon.
Did you know of the hidden area within the storage room?
Hidden area?
That's a no.
A room that held all of the Major's secrets.
I had no idea. Did you discover the reason for his blackmail?
I did indeed.
I did. Were you aware he was dishonorably discharged from the army?
Dishonorably? What does that mean?
I will not hide the truth from her, but I will try and be as delicate as possible with the news of the Major's prior actions. Oh, I don't know how you can put that delicate at all of what he did. Oh. So is that why Zack really hates him? I imagine it must be. I'm sure you're aware of Zack's troubles he faces from his time in the war.
Yes, Gideon told me about the conversation you had. It is really quite upsetting.
Zachariah was adamant of the Major's cruelty during the war, but the extent was not known until now. He killed a number of prisoners, men that were friends of Zachariah.
Surely not. He would not do such a thing. They must have been trying to escape.
I am afraid not. They were in fact unarmed.
Oh, detective.
Poor Angeline.
It is the reason he was discharged, denied his military pension, and I believe the reason he fled England.
He had been such an important part of my life for so long, but I feel like I hardly knew him.
Sterling was adamant of Elizabeth's innocence.
Innocence? You said it was she that killed him.
Indeed.
It was her hand that held the knife, but he was quite insistent it happened in self-defense.
In all of the years I have known her, she has barely even raised her voice. I cannot believe she would do something like that out of malice.
Neither can I, to be honest.
The whole truth cannot be known until Mademoiselle Elizabeth has told her story.
I allowed my perception of her character to conceal any thought of her involvement. It seems that I'm not the only one. Well, time to confront her.
Will you allow me to be present?
I think that is an excellent idea. I hope your presence will calm her and will perhaps allow her to speak more freely.
By the way, did everyone just bring one set of clothes?
Please, detective. I know she has done a terrible thing, but I beg of you to give her the time to explain herself.
She does deserve that.
I will offer Mademoiselle Elizabeth the fair trial that she deserves, as I would with any suspect.
Yep,
Thank
like we
you,
flow it.
Detective Poirot.
Would you bring Mademoiselle Elizabeth to the study where we will not be disturbed?
Of course, I'll find her immediately.
I believe what Sterling has already told me about the offence that occurred between Elizabeth and the Major. I do not believe she would have had to do what she did if he had not attacked her and pushed her to the point where she feared for her life. I must listen to her story, the truth, and only then can her punishment be determined.
Mademoiselle Elizabeth, merci for joining us.
Miss Angeline said you requested to see me urgently.
We have some serious matters to discuss, and I would like to waste no further time.
Oh, yes, Detective.
How are you feeling currently?
Still not quite myself.
Very understandable.
I was surprised when Monsieur Sterling hurried you to assist Madame Vandenbosch last night.
I should not have avoided my duties for so long. The house does not stop because I'm feeling a little under the weather.
That is true, but you cannot be expected to complete all your tasks if you are not in the right frame of mind.
Oh, so true?
Honestly, Detective, it was best for me to not sit and wallow anymore.
Alright, let's do it one line at a time. My investigation has taken me down many paths this weekend.
Have you been able to uncover who the blackmailer is?
Oh yeah.
The blackmailer's identity has been established, and they will pay the price for their crimes.
Wonderful news, Detective. You can put it all behind you now. You must be thrilled.
Oh damn, she was very happy about that.
I would not say thrilled, knowing that such a close friend has betrayed us.
Mademoiselle is correct. What I have learned over this weekend is that people are not always as they appear. While they may give an impression of being a friend or ally, they can in fact be something completely different.
That is true.
And, what of the Major's killer?
I think you well know about that.
Well, mademoiselle, that is why I have asked you here now.
I posed the question to all the guests what their thoughts on the Major were. Now I extend that question to you.
I'm not quite sure what you want me to say, Detective.
Your honest opinion is all I ask, and, s'il te plaît, do not hold back. No one else felt it necessary.
We only spoke when there was something in the house to be done. We did not speak of interests or pastimes.
You knew of his work with Monsieur de Silva?
I only know what is required of me to know, and that is very little.
But you were aware of his work as security at Monsieur de Silva's factory.
I was.
Oh?
The factory your beloved Luke worked at before he was cruelly taken from this world.
Yes, Detective.
Okay, so she did know the reason, so she definitely obviously had the motive, and she's made it clear that she knew about that. I understand Luke was not only involved in these strikes, but was on the front line?
Yes, that is where he spent his last moments. Standing shoulder to shoulder with his fellow workers.
The resulting riots were a terrible tragedy, one that I hope we will not have to see or experience again. Something that could have been avoided had the Major and his team done what was required of them.
Angie, can you, not move about so much? It's very, very distracting where you just suddenly see her turn round and then lift her arms up.
Nobody deserved to die that day. Not my Luke.
Not anybody. Do you blame the Major for his death?
Detective, what kind of question is that?
It is a straightforward one.
Indeed.
Mademoiselle, if there is something you wish to tell me, now is that time.
I'm sorry, Detective, I just don't know how to answer it.
Let us consider what we know of the Major. He fronted the militia that attacked the workers at the strike. You were aware of this?
Yes.
You finally had someone to blame for Luke's death. Someone conveniently located in the same house, alone in his study.
No, Detective. It wasn't like that.
Tell me what happened with the Major on the evening of his death.
I was only in here trying to prove what I heard Mr. Beckers say. I was going to report him, I swear. Miss Angeline, you believe me, don't you?
I want to. I am still trying to understand it all myself. Why don't you start from the beginning?
Why don't you also start by looking at her when she was talking to you?
I was delivering Miss Angeline's dress to her room when I heard Mr. Beckers arguing with the Major in his study. They were ever so loud. I thought the whole house would have been listening to what they were saying. Mr. Beckers was talking about the factory strikes and how it was the Major's fault. He told him that if he didn't own up to his crimes, he would go to the newspapers.
I cannot imagine the Major would have taken kindly to Monsieur Becker's threat.
He didn't. He called him some rather uncouth names before Mr. Beckers left and went downstairs. I made sure to keep out of sight.
Very wise.
After the altercation between the Major and Master Gideon, you went to speak with him outside, and I thought I could look around his study without anyone knowing. I had to know for sure. If it was true, he deserved to be held accountable.
That's how I figured things were going down. She was trying to find the evidence that he was the one behind it.
And did you find the proof you are looking for?
I found a payment from Mr. De Silva, but there was nothing incriminating about that. I was so nervous. I felt like my heart was beating out of my chest.
And then you saw the blackmail note.
I recognised the writing on the envelope. I couldn't believe it. How could he do such a thing to Angeline? To the family that had taken him in?
Ooh.
Common sense would determine the Major was another victim of the blackmailer.
If I'd have used common sense, I wouldn't have been snooping around alone in his study in the first place.
Very true. AKA right here, right now, where the crime scene is. So, she thought the Major was the blackmailer.
I heard the footsteps in the hall, and before I could move, the Major was standing in front of me, demanding to know why I was going through his belongings without permission. I tried to come up with an excuse, but nothing came out, and when he saw the letter in my hand, it was like Dr. Jekyll turning into Mr. Hyde.
Oh, so he got very violent.
I tried to move around him towards the door, but he hurled something towards me, and it crashed against the wall.
That would explain the damage to the wall.
Indeed.
I froze. I have never been so scared in all my life. I thought he was going to kill me there and then.
And you thought you would beat him to it?
Bro, let him finish. Fucking hell, dude.
Oh, Detective, you make it sound as though I had it all planned. He lunged forward and grabbed me by the arm. I tried to push him away, but he was too strong. His grip just got tighter and tighter. If only you had seen the look in his eyes, I dared not even scream. I saw the sheath on his belt. I didn't know what else to do. I didn't want to hurt him, but he wouldn't let go of me.
So you took your opportunity to put an end to it all.
I just wanted to get him off me. I didn't want to hurt him. I reached for it and I jabbed it at him. His grip instantly loosened and I ran straight out the door and didn't look back.
That's pretty much how I figured it went. She used it as a self-defense weapon and then quickly bolted.
You did not even look to see what state you had left him in?
Honestly, no, I wouldn't. If it was me that was attacked by him like that, no.
She had just been attacked, Detective.
Oui, please. Continue.
Yes, probably not Poirot.
I ran down to the pantry looking for Rahana. She took one look at me and knew something was wrong. I explained to her what had happened and she went to find Archie. She said he would know what to do. We went back to the study and he was still lying there, motionless. Archie said that no one would believe me. That if someone like me killed someone like him, I would be sent straight to the gallows. He left the letter so you would find it. He said that if people knew what the Major was really like, then they wouldn't care what happened to him.
I don't know if I skipped text accidentally there or not. But that part was smart.
So I am to believe that it was Monsieur Sterling and Mademoiselle Rihanna that cleaned the scene and orchestrated a plan that included a fake telephone call and dressing as the Major so that he may be seen. You had nothing to do with that.
Well, we had no evidence showing that she did any like evidence cleaning. But then why did Archibald allow Marge to examine the body? That was very interesting idea for him to allow that to happen.
I swear I had no idea that is what they had done. Archie just told me to stay out of sight. I am no master criminal.
Then Monsieur Sterling and Mademoiselle Rihanna will be charged for obstruction of justice and impeding my investigation.
Please, Detective, they were only trying to help me.
I do feel bad for them with that, because they were only trying to help her out.
If they wished to help you, they should have brought all of this to my attention immediately instead of committing more illegal acts.
Surely you haven't forgotten what happened with Florette. She was only accused of stealing a bracelet. I killed a man.
It is a day I have not forgotten, mademoiselle. Even for a moment.
Without your help, I don't stand a chance. Please, Detective Poirot, you are the only one that can help me.
Oh, Elizabeth, why didn't you come to me?
I didn't think you would believe me. I felt so guilty. And when it was announced yesterday that he was a victim of the blackmailer, I wanted to tell you everything. I came to find you last night, Detective, but Archie stopped me. I'm sorry.
No, poor Elizabeth. Is this where we can pick which one we want to do? We can go, she was seeking revenge and lock her up, or go, she stabbed the Major when he wouldn't let her go. That is the way.
Come, my little
No.
Grisel.
No?
I must act on...
Or we can just pin it on Marge.
Is there something...
That could be something we could do. Oh, for fuck's sake. I completely forgot about the defensive strike up there.
The pieces of the puzzle are finally coming together.
Yeah, let's just blame it on Marge. No, that would be unfair now. Marge doesn't deserve murder on top of it. Like, being blamed for murder. She's the blackmailer, so she's already gonna get a fucking... She's already in lots of trouble. Elizabeth's stories confirmed Marge's claim. The Major's death was the result of a defensive strike. Again, though, why did Archibald allow Marge to examine the body? But then that did give us information that he died from self-defense. Funny episode, the case of the Major's murder. I must admit, I take no joy in declaring Elizabeth as the killer, and I wish she had never been put in such a position at all. But she did it in self-defense. She had no choice in the matter. Goodness gracious knows what would have happened to her if she didn't actually grab the knife. I dread to think. Well, we can wrap up this up now.
Yes, Detective.
And about the missing knife?
I don't know where it is.
If you have been honest with me until now, I ask that you continue.
I'm sorry, I really don't know. Archie dropped it out of the study window and he said he would deal with it. I couldn't bear to touch the thing.
I have the knife in my possession. I believe that from her reaction, she does not know what came of it. I believe that's the truth. I know people can be secretly be another person, they're at all nice, but deep down, they can be like a real asshole and manipulative, toxic and all that, like a mastermind. But Elizabeth does not scream any of that at me at all. She just seems all down to earth. And if we remember at the very start of the game, she's the one that came to find Poirot. And I know I badly say his name wrong. It will happen every single time I try and say it. I literally cannot pronounce it. I'm saying this now in the fifth stream of the game. She's unaware of the efforts that Sterling and Johanna went to mask what she had done. Sterling was not lying when he said he would do anything for her. No sooner service, but deep down, don't look at me, Belle. Phew, got away with it. Merci, madame. Wait, Murray.
Please, I was only protecting myself. I didn't want to hurt him. He just wouldn't let me go.
Oh, poor Elizabeth.
Oui, mademoiselle. I know.
Allow us to speak to Angeline, maybe.
Mademoiselle tells quite the harrowing story.
I cannot imagine the Major acting in such a way, but Elizabeth could not make up such a story.
If anyone's a mastermind of evil, pretending to be one person, but is actually another person, it's a fucking Major against Angeline. Everything we know about the Major, he's a scumbag to speak to in person. We've spoken to him many times, and he's a very hateful man. Yet apparently when it comes to Angeline, he's the most nicest person in the world, and it's really confusing.
After learning what I have about the Major's character this weekend, I would not question the lengths he would go to in order to keep his secret hidden. I know that you share a close bond with Mademoiselle Elizabeth, but you cannot allow your personal feelings to taint your belief of what took place.
She has committed a terrible crime, but she will live with that for the rest of her life. She's not a cold-blooded killer.
Oh god, yeah. Even if she doesn't go to jail, she's still gonna know she killed someone. That is a horrible thing to imagine trying to live with for the whole of your life.
If what she says of the Major's attack is true, she acted in self-defense. And in the law's eyes, a crime has not been committed. I will do everything I can to make sure her story is heard and a fair trial is conducted.
I believe the version of events that Elizabeth has confessed to are true. The Major having fallen into a fit of rage at the prospect of his sordid secrets coming to light. He attacked the young Madame and drove her to do what she had to protect herself. She put herself in a dangerous position, but there is a small part of me that commends the duty she felt to find justice for her beloved, and the other workers that lost their lives at the Major's order. If the telephone line is not working, I must call in my findings with the remaining snow. It may still be some time before they arrive.
Mademoiselle, it is time I addressed the house.
Are you sure? What will you say? What if they do not listen?
I can assure you, they will.
Elizabeth was right, though. She's just a servant. What if they...
Mademoiselle, when Detective Poirot speaks, they will listen.
Don't anger the detective.
Would you ask the guests to convene in the library?
Of course. And what of the staff?
I have told Monsieur Sterling to remain in the staff quarters with the others. When the authorities arrive, they shall be dealt with. You have been of great help to me throughout my investigation, And now that it is over, I have one final request.
Actually, thinking about it, she's the only person in the whole game, outside the prologue, like after she's learnt her mistake and became like a new lady, she has always been honest. Obviously in the prologue she lied and she realised what happened before lying.
You only need to ask.
While I am speaking with the guests in the library, would you watch over Mademoiselle Elizabeth in my room?
You don't think she will try and escape, do you?
In her position, I do not know what she might try. But I trust with you there, any potential ideas of such a thing will be squashed.